First off, it's all about the you. But is it really? Well, I don't know if I can say that much nowadays. Not with the way we've been downhill the last 4 or 5 years. But when you read Chris Bellows' blog the other night, there's a lot of things that's very, very telling about Jon Gruden possibly coming here. Now, here's a couple of things you want to keep in mind with Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden is 47 years old. He's won a Super Bowl. And he's the proven winner people, when they talk about getting the next coach, talk about. He has all those qualities. He's a character. He's a game changer. He's a monster recruiter, potentially. And he's a head coach. He's a proven head coach and a proven winner. The thing is, we haven't had that game-changing recruiter since JJ left after 88 for Dallas. Now, yeah, we had, and later with Dennis, and Butch. Butch was okay, but if not, like a poster told me the other night, if not for probation, might have been better. But if you look at it carefully, this is what happens if we were to get Gruden. He would change the recruiting landscape dramatically. He would lock down South Florida for the next 5 to 10 years. Easily, if not more. But he would pose a major threat in North and Central Florida, specifically Jacksonville, the Tampa Bay area where Gruden resides, and the Orlando area. And more specifically, try to get back the state of Miami, which has been dominated in recent years by the Gators and Seminoles from Tampa to Daytona Beach on the I-4 corridor, which includes Orlando, which is as you know, it's very heavily Gator and Nole territory right now. Now, my take on this is, if something's going to happen, it's going to be done very quickly. And Bell said it, like Bell said on his blog, and I concur. By Sunday morning at the earliest. Now, Randy's weekly press conference is 11 o'clock in the morning. It takes place in the Edwin James team meeting room. That's when we'll start to get some answers. Now, if Randy comes in as normal, it would seem he coaches the bowl game as probably back in 11. Now, something else to keep in mind is Jon Gruden is calling the game with Mike Tirico and Juan Jaworski on Monday night when Arizona takes on the San Francisco 49ers in Glendale, Arizona. Now, let's assume Gruden is the man. Let's assume Randy's out Sunday and Gruden gets named the man. Maybe Monday night, Tuesday, the latest. An introduction for the new head coach would probably happen Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't know. That's a possibility. Now, my guess is the reason nothing's coming out of the Heck Center or the Ash Building, and no one wants to tip their hand. They're keeping things very quiet. If they're talking with Jon Gruden, they're not saying anything about it. They're being very, very quiet about it, because something big's about to go down potentially. So that's one you need to wait and see how it plays out. Because if Bellows right, and I have no reason to believe he's not, then something big is going to happen. And something really, really big is about to go down here if Bellows right. You ever hear the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire? Okay? When there's smoke, there is fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I will tell you this. If we were to land Jon Gruden, you can imagine there will be many people in North and Central Florida and in the rest of the ACC that would be very, very nervous. Now keep this in mind. He doesn't want to go back to the league. He doesn't want to deal with control freaks like Al Davis. He already did that in Oakland, with the Glazers in Tampa Bay, and potentially Jerry Jones. Yes, Jerry Jones could pay him $6 or $7 million, but he doesn't want to deal with control freaks like Jerry Jones, a metal Simona like that. You see, at the Heck Center, he would be the man in charge. He would be in total control. He wouldn't have to deal with a Dan Snyder or Jerry Jones. The only two people he'd answer to is maybe Kirby and Don. Now, I asked this the other night. Would Siggy Wolf give Gruden what he wants, and that's total control of football operations? My guess, unlikely. But Bellows said it right. He doesn't want to deal with overbearing owners again. If he came back to coaching, he wants that itch, and he's really interested in this job, Don and Kirby are going to listen. There's no doubt they are going to listen immediately. He stays close to home in Florida. He'd be a game changer immediately from a recruiting perspective. And you can bet there are some fans up there that are very, very nervous right now. Very nervous. Because they know that pipeline in South Florida, if Gruden comes here, is going to get shut off. And that goes to go true for Jim Tressel and Rod up in Michigan. We have been rated up here rated down there by Shiano, although not recently. Shiano's had some terrible seasons. Rod in Michigan, who's been mediocre, but he gets the talent up there. West Virginia, Ohio State, Wisconsin, all the Big Ten schools are starting to rate our talent. Let me tell you something. Get Jon Gruden here, and that pipeline out of South Florida is going to get shut off, because we're going to lock that down for at least the next 5 to 10 years, without a doubt. Okay, so when I look at this very carefully, and again I've said this before, and here's the way I look. Again, I look at it this way. You land the Jon Gruden, you will get this back right away. Now, another thing to remember is Donna Shalala will be 70 on February 14th, 12 days after the 11 class is already in. As Bello said in his blog last night, her resume is at the top of the line. The question you have to ask is, how many more years will she be president at UM? My guess, she wants to have another BCS title before she rides off into the sunset. Now, Bello mentioned in his blog, like I said, and I've mentioned this will happen quickly. Question is, how quickly? How fast do you pull a trigger on a monster move like this? I think if it's Sunday, if Randy's gone Sunday, Monday the latest, Gruden could be, and they hire Gruden right away. We can have an introductory news conference, like I said, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, tops. Now, I could tell you this. The buzz in this town would be absolutely off the charts. We were winning titles left and right with JJ. First Howard, JJ, then later Dennis, then Butch, then Coker in 01. Let me tell you, you bring Gruden here, you'll start to see that again by Game 3. That, if I'm not mistaken, I've looked at the early schedule, that Game 3 is the Ohio State game. But I'll say this. The talent's in place to win a BCS title next year. The talent's already there. All we need is a proven, bona fide head coach who's won and is not afraid to light a fire under this team. You get a guy like Jon Gruden and Coral Gables at the Heck Center, let me tell you something. You will have a winner. We will have a winner. And we will have a winner. We may have a BCS title next year. That's how intent and how driven this man is to winning championships. All you need is that one coach to put us over the top. And I'm not convinced Shannon's the guy. Shannon is not the guy. I'm convinced he's not the guy. As much as I love Randy to death, I want to see him succeed, but he's just not going to get it done here. He just won't get it done. My choice, I said, listen, the more I read Bello's blog about the possibility of Jon Gruden here, the more you got to say to yourself, wow, we get a coach like that, we put recruiting in South Florida, if not the whole state, on lockdown. Definitely the state of Miami we would start getting the state of Miami back. So that's what I said about it. That's my take on it. The next really 48 hours or so is going to the next 36 hours is going to tell us a lot about the direction of this program and whether Randy stays in 11 or we get a new coach in here next season, maybe Jon Gruden, but who knows? Let's see how it plays out, guys. Anyway, let's have a big win tomorrow against South Florida, and as always, win or lose, go Canes.